BEBC in the house. Coach Sips here, let's hear him out. Sippin' with Sip, yeah, we talking that game. Allen Eagles pride, you remember the name. On the court, in the gym, we keeping it lit. Pour it up, tune it in, Sippin' with Sip. From tip off to the buzzer, we bringing the heat. BEBC, riding with the team, can't be beat. Fast breaks, big plays, Eagles never slip. Pour it up, run it back, yeah, Sippin' with Sip.
First Sunday night in January
2026.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Coach.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Hey, welcome to another sorry about that. Another year. We all made it.
We did.
Yeehaw.
It's so exciting. Well, Coach, we talked last week and I let people know we had a problem with the podcast, and so we'll revisit a little bit of that, but we really want to dig into the In and Out tournament, which was just, fantastic the last week. And I'm going to share my screen here. We're just going to jump right in and let you talk about it. You guys went 2-1. Let me see here. I actually put together something. Y'all are going to be like so amazed at this. Look at here.
Oh my gosh.
I know it.
PowerPoint.
Love
Look,
it.
it's got a gradient on it.
It's got a what?
It's got a gradient.
I don't even know what a gradient is.
It goes from white to blue in the top box.
Oh yeah, isn't that nice? So
Cody's using words again that we don't know.
I know. He forgets his audience more often than not. So anyhow, boy, I went totally blank. You start off with Shadow Creek, which you had mentioned to us was going to be a tough start, and it's one of these games that
You probably
it's
need to flip
kind of
up to your first slide.
That is my first slide.
No,
We're
we're
seeing Allen
seeing
versus
the
Amarillo
last.
right now.
We're seeing the last one.
You're seeing the last one,
Gorilla.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're seeing Allen versus Amarillo.
which is really weird because I'm seeing Shadow Creek.
Well, go into
Hang on. Why is that happening? Y'all hang on a minute.
Everyone's going, do this, do that.
I know y'all are bossy mothers.
That's like we coach a basketball team.
Yeah.
PowerPoint.
All right. Let me see here. Y'all just hang tight.
While he pulls that up, Coach, overall thoughts on the tournament?
I thought it was really good as far as just a hosting standpoint. There were no major issues. All the teams showed up, so that's a win within
Now,
itself.
you say no major issues, but I saw you down there on the floor putting some tape down that last game.
That's just a daily regiment for me. That's just a normal, a lot of people, they don't see that. That's what really coaching is. It's laundry and tape and mopping the floor. But no, I thought it turned out really well. We had a great crowd, sold a lot of In-N-Out burgers. From a playing standpoint, I know we'll get into that, but from a hosting standpoint, I thought it went really well. We went to a 3-game slate this year instead of 4 because we're in the middle of the district, and about 95% of coaches really like that. So we'll probably stick with that format moving forward, and just try to make it bigger and better the next year.
When it comes to all the brackets, the teams you thought were going to win?
No, because we don't bet on it like money, but like we have we pick our winners for each bracket, and no, mine did not. I did not do well. However, I had our JV winning it, and I had Farmersville winning it. Obviously, I had us winning it. Those are the only two I got correct, were Farmersville and our JV team. But it was so even across the board. Like I said before, there were 12 total overtimes throughout. The Lovejoy Highland Park day one went 4 overtimes. So there were some really, really competitive games, and that made it pretty hard to choose.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was at that
4
Highland Park
overtime.
Lovejoy game, and I told Sip, he came in there at the end of the third quarter, and I said, you just go down there and grab those 2 coaches, and let's just do rock, paper, scissors and get this thing over with. Because
They would have wanted to. Trust me, they were not happy it kept going in overtime. So
no, I mean that whole game, and I watched 95% of it. I don't think anybody led by more than 3 points the whole game. It was just back and forth. It was crazy.
We knew it would be a good game when we put them together. We were like, hey, those 2 coaches and those 2 programs, we got to see that. See y'all. Yeah,
it was. I went up to Coach Watson afterwards, from former coach at McKinney, and he knows us well. And, he was like, I said, you miss Allen so much you decided to play 2 games at once here, And I said, but the one thing is, Coach, I said, I didn't see you stomping like you usually stomp. And he goes, last night, I wrenched my back. He said, I am dying right now. I said, well, it all makes sense now, but that was funny. So anyhow, what did y'all see? I'm going to pull that back up here and see. Tell me what y'all see now. If it's the last one or the first one, what do you see?
Shadow Creek.
Okay, there we go. We'll start there. I was mentioning earlier, it was a 7-point lead at halftime, which we've seen before. And it just actually a 7-point lead. Go ahead. Trying to think. Was that at the end of the third quarter it was tied to? I've got my book here. Hang on.
We played a lot of games since then, so I don't really remember.
Yeah, it was actually a 7-point lead at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And made it to over, got it. You had another chance to win at the end of the game. Didn't make the shot. Went 71-71 at the end of the game, and then lose it in overtime when you had another chance at a 3. I put up here the scoring for the game, so I'm going to put that on there, I guess, going forward now, just to give everybody an idea who's doing what. And 3 20-point scorers in one game. I mean, I don't remember the last time you guys had that.
No, Cade, that was kind of a Cade
My gosh.
coming out party. Obviously, he's been really good this year, but he couldn't miss. He kept us in the game, and like you said earlier, Shadow Creek was gonna. When you move a 16-team tournament to 8 top teams, there's really no bad teams you can go play first. Every team's gonna be really competitive, and obviously we want to play really good people to challenge us and to grow us, and we knew that would be a challenging game 1. They ended up just losing by a few points in the championship. However, I thought, we kind of gave them the game. I thought we handled 95% of the game, and once again couldn't finish. And like I spoke previously, still trying to figure out this team, who needs to play down the stretch, what do we need to do to finish out games. And we kind of had a I don't know if it's an epiphany or just a realization of some stuff we need to do. This game actually showed us quite a bit as a staff and opened our eyes to a few things. And one of those specifically is we have to just find ways to rest Neo a little bit more because he's so gassed at the end of games because we play him so much, and just really was unable to finish that game as strong as he wanted to. And so we have to find unique ways to do that. And the next 2 games, I thought we really did. And we were able to finish out the next 2 much better than we've been doing. So hopefully that will continue to trend in the right direction.
I want to ask you one thing about this game, because I had flashbacks to the McKinney game.
Yep.
Where I don't know how many of their points were made in the lane, but it just seems like layup after layup after layup. And I know we're going to talk about this because, like you just said, there's some things that needed to be done. And I think the second half of the Oak Hills game, and then certainly in the Amarillo game, we saw some of that stuff. But what was the problem there with not being able to keep those guys out of the lane, I guess?
One, they were really quick, but that's not an excuse. They had a couple of kids that were fast end to end, and a big challenge with this team, and we're constantly coaching it, and it's just the focus piece of like knowing who they are, knowing who I am, who am I guarding, and paying attention to that, and a lot of that is through scouting reports, and from a scouting standpoint, last year's team you could really dive in and give them a lot. This year's team, you have to keep it a little bit more simple, and that's not a bad thing. It's just different types of teams are able to take in different amounts of information. And as a staff, we were giving them too much. Therefore, they couldn't really focus on what the 1 or 2 or 3 important things are in order to win this game. So once again, we've simplified some stuff. But in that game, a big part of the game plan was to keep them out of the paint. And if I'm guarding a non-shooter, I got to be able to help off of them. And we weren't paying attention, or we weren't as locked in as we needed to be in those areas. Therefore, they were able to get into the paint and, make it a open sesame, layups, and make it a tough guard for us.
Yeah, it was tough. Game 2, as you roll over there, maybe if I can get to the next slide because things just don't want to work. There we go. Was a win over Oak Hills. David was the only one of us that was able to be at that game, and he actually left at halftime because you guys were down, I think, 5 at halftime, 36-31. And then this is where I think, and again, I wasn't at this one, but it seems to me that from a defensive standpoint, the switch flipped.
Yeah.
Because it was a 36-31 game at halftime, and you held them to, 24 points in the second half.
Yeah, Oaks Hill was, if you just looked at them, man, they were a really well put together basketball team. They have 2 high level Division I basketball players. One will be a Power 4, Power 5 guy. He might have had 4 or 5 like earth shattering dunks against us. And he could really jump. One time he got a steal and his head was by the rim when he dunked one. So they were a very athletic team. We knew they weren't going to go away easy, and they'll have a chance, their coach said, to win the 6A competition in California. So it's just speaking on what type of team they are. So we knew it would be really challenging, and once again, we kept the game plan pretty simple. We had to stop 23, their dude, and we had to load up on them and really block out and be physical. And the first half, we didn't do that as well, but we found a group of guys who would. And in the second half, we really locked into that game plan, and they were very aggressive defensively. This was a game Neo really didn't play well. He really struggled, probably one of his worst games he's played all year. But it was great for us to see that because after the game, he was thanking the team for stepping up and having his back. And, where he's carried us a lot of the year, our team really helped carry him. So that was good to see, even when he's not as productive or playing out of his mind, can we still beat really good teams? And we were able to do so. So from a coach's standpoint, that's a good thing.
Kadarian, obviously, and it was nice to see Gio finally break through and have a double-digit game,
He played so well. And a lot of it was confidence with him and just trying to get him to playing back basketball the way we know he can. And, he's such a good, versatile basketball player. He just has to see the ball go through the net. And as a staff, we still have confidence in him, so we're continually playing him and pouring into him. And, probably against 2 of the tougher guys he's had to go against, he really stepped up and carried us. And he opened up the lane for us, because those 2 bigs that they had, they really loved to sit in the paint and block shots and really clog everything up. And Gio was able to pop out and make some shots, which drew them out as well. And once that happened, we were able to live inside the paint and kind of get what we want offensively. So he definitely changed that game.
Well, and then you roll into your third game on, I guess that would have been Saturday. And this one, I just want to brag on you here because, we've been watching Allen Eagle basketball for a long time, but I don't think I've seen a defensive performance like what y'all threw at those guys. to make a coach so mad in the first 6 or 7
He
minutes.
was going to throw a chair. I swear to God, he was going to throw a chair.
He was close.
It was close, but no, I just want to roll this off. I wrote this down a minute ago, and where did it go? The last 6 quarters. Here are the points scored against you guys. This start in the middle of the Oak Hills game. Okay, 14, 10, 9, 8, 5, and 7.
I love it.
Yeah,
Music to my ears.
yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen
That sounds familiar for like last year.
Yeah. And you go, wow, when you're limiting, teams to single digits every quarter, you can win a lot of basketball games, and you certainly put it on these guys.
Yeah, that's hard to do. And just speaking on Amarillo is one of the toughest teams to play against in the state year in, year out. I mean, they've been to state probably 4 of the last 6 or 7 years. And they're really, really good. They're well coached. Coach Pillion's a legend. He probably has 500 or 600 wins as a head coach, been to state several times. They're like literally an old school Indiana basketball team where they're running true motion and 1,000 people are moving and just really good at that piece of the game. And so for us, this was something, we really challenged the guys in. And like you said, just getting back to taking pride defensively. That's who we are. That's what makes us successful. And like you said, in the Shadow Creek game, there's just no pride in really stopping the basketball. And it was funny because the Oaks Hill game, we watched a lot of film after the Shadow Creek game, had some practice, and in the Oaks Hill game, I don't know if I just lost my mind or whatever, but basically I just told them, like, if you're not going to sit there and talk and you're not going to be in stance, like, in the first 30 seconds, I'm just going to pull you. I'm tired of watching it. I'm tired of having patience. Like, you're making a choice now of not doing it, and it's hurting us. So I need to find 5 guys who are going to sit in a stance, who are going to talk constantly. And I don't care who they are. If we have 5 guys that sit in the stance and they talk constantly, we're going to be really good at defense. But if one person stands up or one person forgets to talk, all right, we're going to have gaps and holes. So in that Oaks Hills game, I mean, I probably subbed 136 times. We were constantly I told my assistant coaches, I don't want y'all to watch anything else. But if somebody's not talking, they're not in a stance, I need you to just go throw somebody in there. And I thought the message was pretty clear that, just we're done having patience with that. They should be getting it now. It's more of a choice. So if they're not going to take pride in it, I'm not going to watch it. So from a pride standpoint in defense, obviously we really stepped up the Amarillo game, and we didn't even play Neo the fourth quarter. And got to play a lot of guys, and even those guys who came in really did a good job. So that was a good sign to end on. I feel like we're back to playing really good basketball. Obviously, we got to keep doing that, but hopefully that will carry over throughout the rest of the district and into the playoffs.
Yeah, as you can see from the screen here, you had 11 guys that scored, so you played a bunch of guys. You love the balance like that, where you're not just relying on one or two. So.
Absolutely.
Can I interject? Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
sure.
This game right here, we've been watching him, and you can see the maturity level and his ability getting better, and he's getting more confident, and he's getting more understanding. But Muhammad, dude, that kid made some blocks that game, man.
Yeah, he's one of our only true rim protectors. And with Tyson going down, obviously he's gotten a chance to really play a whole lot more and step up. And we're going to have to really use him in the upcoming games because everybody has a multitude of bigs and 6'8" and 6'9" and 7-footers. And so he's going to have to really play. And he's our toughness, our strength inside. And he's very sneakily athletic. Like you said, he'll go lay up a shot and he'll come out of nowhere and just glass it. So no, he's been playing well.
He did. It was fun. I think he had. Did he have 2 or 3 against Amarillo?
I think he had 3.
Yeah, he had 3.
Yeah, but 2 of them definitely stood out. I mean, they were. He came up and he just hammered that ball against the glass, and then the other one he pinned it on the glass. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, he's playing good. I like to see his confidence is really going up. You can tell he's understanding what we want, and
Yeah.
understanding the pace of the game. So he's going to be a big help.
He was a little unsure at the beginning of the season. Now he's more comfortable with the system and so forth. And I'm excited to see him play the remainder of the season this year. And so
Me too.
He was actually one of our players of the game, along with Jacob. And you might speak about Jacob a little bit, Coach, because I know he was your Tuffy Award winner.
He was, and this is a cool story because we were talking about how we had to sit Neo more and just find them little rest spots. And Jacob is a kid who has such a good feel for the game of basketball. He's probably our best passer. He might have a better feel than Neo. He's not as athletic as Neo, can't get to spots, but as far as really seeing the floor, knowing where everybody is, his IQ is insane. So I challenged him because I want to say in the McKinney game, I thought he kind of lost his confidence a little bit, was unaggressive, wasn't guarding like he was. I told him at the beginning of the year, you made me play you. You literally left me no doubt but to play you because of how hard you were playing, because of the chip on your shoulder. I called him into the office. I said, hey, I think you lost a little bit of that because I'm not playing you as much now, and you look okay with it. I want the old Jacob back that you're going to show me, no, I need to play you. And I said, hey, this next game, I'm going to roll you because we got to get Neo more rest. I said, I need you to be the Jacob of old. And he came in and forced 8 turnovers by himself. Just was gritty, tough.
That's amazing. Yeah.
If he can give us that depth, those guys can really, Mohammed and Jay, that's going to really help us finish games because we can keep Neo and KD and some of those guys really fresh. And once again, in the style that we play, you have to have some depth. If you're not, you're wearing your own self out. And like you said, we've been unable to finish some games. So hopefully moving forward, we're able to do some of that because we can rely on those guys and they can step up and really help us win.
Well, it doesn't get any easier because now you are in full district mode starting this week. Tuesday night at home, you got McKinney Boyd rolling in, who actually made the finals in the gold Division II bracket, right? Or silver?
Silver D1 maybe.
Silver
D1.
D1.
It was gold D2.
Yeah. Actually against them and in Plano, which tells you a lot about your district. But I watched a little bit of that game sitting with you and Coach Blakely, and they've come a long way from the McKinney boys of old.
No, they're really good. They have a kid named Benji. He's probably going to be a professional basketball player to some capacity. 6'8", sophomore, was a freshman last year, and you could tell he was going to be really good. He's a grown man, dunks everything, plays inside out. He's a handful, but it's not just him. Other guys are older. They're better. They return a lot of the guard play from last year. So they're not scared of anybody. They've played with people. They beat McKinney in district already this year. So, it's going to be a tough matchup, and, we'll have our hands full.
Yeah. Speaking of him, he not only is he tall, he's a LeBron James type. I mean, he's a big kid.
Big body, great shoulders, strong. Yeah, he's a load for sure.
He's gonna be clearing out the lane from some people, I can promise you. So that is.
I want to see Neo take a charge on him.
He will. Neo, it was funny because we were at practice yesterday and we were talking about how we're going to guard him and, hey, this is what we're going to do. And Neo was like, Coach, just put me on him. I was like, Neo, I love you, but I ain't putting you on him. I'm going to be real with you.
Well, he'd be fine if he dribbled, but if the guy doesn't dribble, Neo's in a lot of work, a lot of hurt there.
Trouble.
Yeah, for real. And then Friday night, which is a game that against a team that I thought was going to have some fall off, and it doesn't appear they have. DJ Hall graduated from Plano East, and they're 18-4 and 4-0 in district, and just seems like the same old story going over there at East.
Yeah, they're really good. Great culture, great coach, tradition of winning. They know what to expect. That they're going to be a team that isn't going to go away easy. They're going to be well scouted. They're going to play hard. So definitely another game that we're going to have our hands full. I think the next 3 games which every game is challenging. But then you have Plano and then you get Rock Hill after that. So it's definitely a handful of games coming up.
So you sit at 11-4 on the season, 3-1 in district. And when you look down the district standings, and I don't have them in front of me, but yeah, you were 3-1. I think Boyd is at 2-2. As we mentioned, East is 4-0. Plano's 3-2. And then you have some bottom dwellers. Prosper hadn't won a district game yet in that. But it's, as you said, as we started all this, the district is just tough top to bottom. I mean,
It is.
as evidenced by your struggles over at Prosper just before the break. And
Yeah.
Um,
Prosper
everybody-
Plano
Right.
East overtime.
yeah, well, and like McKinney came in and got you guys, but now they sit at 11-7 on the year, so it's
Yeah.
they've got to play like they played against Allen every night in this
Yeah, they
district.
do.
Yeah.
And really, once again, from the ownership and coaching standpoint, last year no one zoned us. I haven't been zoned in like 5 years, I feel like, and now everybody just wants to run a zone. So once again, in a new team, last year when teams ran zone, we shot them out of it in the first 4 seconds or executed them out of it. So we were still doing some of the same stuff offensively that we did with our last group, just as far as zone attacks, and it just hasn't been as effective as I wanted it to be. So we had to dive back in as a staff and figure out what are some unique ways we can get easier looks against the zone, because we have new guys and not everybody's as skilled in certain spots, and we have to move more. So we have been overly diving into zone the last 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see zones now these upcoming weeks, because that's all we're going to see. So we're going to move Neo around a little bit more, make it harder. Hopefully we put in some more sets. So hopefully we'll be able to dissect this stuff so they have to play man against us. So that would be nice.
So how hard is that? Because you're basically in the middle of the season now to really sort of change things up that you kind of planned on doing.
Yeah.
I mean, is that
Well, it's not as hard if you're talking about your main offense. It would be like your concepts and all of that. Like that's not something you want to change because you start that last spring, and a lot of that goes into your zone. It's more about where we put people. Like for example, we kind of put our sides in the middle. We're going to stretch them out a little bit, keep them a little lower, put a better playmaker in the middle so he can kind of catch and make better reads. So it's just some little tweaks. It's not a main explosion of stuff, but once again, in a new team, you've got to find out who can kind of do what and who looks comfortable. And with all the analytics we have access to now, you get a real feel of who's good in the zone, what's your plus minus in the zone, who's good when they catch it in the middle, who's good on the left wing, who's good in short corner. So we have a lot of data to kind of go off of. So that helped us kind of move some guys around and hopefully put them in successful spots.
well that gives us homework for this week is to see what adjustments that we pick up that you guys made.
Please
And
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we'll do
Yeah.
that.
Please.
Speaking of homework, sorry again, we had so much fun last week talking about this, and we gave you some homework, and we're just going to reiterate it here because he's already dropped a letter grade because he didn't get his homework done. But
minus 10.
we had a conversation on our last football podcast about if football teams were made up of dog breeds, who would play what position?
Yeah.
And so last week when we talked, we told Coach Sipp we wanted him to go down the roster and the coaches and tell us what breed of dog each player and coach is.
Yeah.
And so he when we were talking before we started, he said he got busy and he neglected to do his homework. So for next week, you are on the clock, sir, to have that done. I know you said you made a sticky note.
I'd like to submit one for Neo.
Oh no.
Okay. What do we
Jack
got?
Russell.
Jack Russell.
I'll put, I don't know, Pitbull and Jack Russell is going to be close.
It could be combined. They could.
Oh my gosh.
A mix-
Somebody will breed them. Hell, why not?
That's true.
That is
Oh,
awesome.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah,
Coach
that's
Sipp,
my
we
homework.
there you go. You got your homework. We have ours, and we look forward to this week's games. They'll be good. Like you said, the competition's great, and good to see y'all get challenged every week. So we will see you Tuesday night. We appreciate your time as always. And
Thank y'all. Can't wait to see you. Tell everybody come on out.
what's that, James?
Scheduled Tuesday and Friday.
Tuesday is Boyd at home,
Awesome.
and Plano East Friday away.
Yes.
Nice.
Got it?
Come on out.
All right. We'll see you then,
Thank you, guys.
Coach.
We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
See ya.
Y'all soon. Bye.
Ah.
You still there?